What is up, everybody? Alex from ANAK Creates here, and today I want to talk to you about improving your workspace, your workflow, whether you are doing video editing, music production, or just daily tasks. It's something that you really should put time into. So today I'm going to go through 4 of the main aspects of your workspace to give you some ideas on small but effective improvements. So what I want to look at today is the 4 main aspects of your workspace and your workflow to drastically improve your productivity and your creativity and just your efficiency overall. Because I believe that if you put a little bit of time into optimizing that workspace, whether that be a digital workspace or your physical workspace, little improvements can drastically change your creativity and your productivity overall. I'm going to go through the physical workspace, your digital workspace, software improvements, and of course, assistive programs to make everything you do just a little bit more efficient. So first, when it comes to the physical environment, there's a few things you want to look at. One is your actual physical environment. What's in it that's distracting you? What's in it that is bringing you joy that you should keep? And what is it that you don't need? For me, I like to get rid of my phone, hide it somewhere behind my computer, just something so I don't see it. Next is your actual setup. Ergonomically, how is it set up for you? Is it comfortable? Some people have their laptops up on angles. Is it annoying to actually type, or doesn't it make you want to type? Sometimes investing in a good keyboard is really nice, and a good mouse, or for me, it's a trackball. And then it's the physical setup of those items. So for me, I like to have the trackball really close to my keyboard so that I can actually hit the enter button with my thumb that's on my trackball, so I don't have to move my hands nearly as much to just hit enter, because I have to hit enter a lot. For me, that's a very important part of my ergonomic and productivity setup to allow me to work faster. And lastly, what is your experience when you're sitting there and you're working? Is your screen up so you can see it in front of you, or do you have to look down, which isn't really as good for your spine and for your neck? Is it the right kind of screen? For me, I actually used to have a very big external display, and I had to get a smaller one because it was too big, where I would literally have to keep moving my head. It was actually counterproductive to having more screen real estate. But these are the kinds of things you have to think about your physical setup that you're using. The second thing is your digital setup. How's your screen set up? How's your screen real estate? And how are your programs set up? For instance, turning off all notifications, turning off distractions, using full screen apps so you don't see the clock and see how much time is passing by. And then something that I do is I actually scale up my display. So on the same size screen, I actually get a little bit more information because everything is slightly smaller. For some people, that might not work. But if you can get a little bit more screen real estate for the things you're actually using, for instance, in softwares like Adobe Premiere Pro or Pro Tools or most professional softwares, you can customize how big and small windows and buttons and different things are and what you see on screen. Customizing the workspaces and the environment for what you're doing at the time can really improve your distraction and your focus, giving you more real estate for the things you actually care about, not a bunch of default layout buttons that don't matter. So I encourage you to take time to actually go and learn how to customize your software to better fit what the tasks are that you're doing. Thirdly is software shortcuts. So this is keyboard shortcuts. A lot of professional programs have keyboard shortcuts. This is where the workflow starts to come in. How do you work? What are the things you repeatedly do or have to go find in the menu button and click on? Can you find the keyboard shortcut for that? Or can you alter your workflow slightly to allow for a keyboard shortcut to do what you need it to do and achieve the same result? This is where I often encourage people to go and watch videos of other people's workflows, just here and there, to get a bit of inspiration and learn maybe a more efficient way of how to do the same task with shortcuts that somebody else uses, even a window environment that they use in the same software that you're using, but actively trying to find those keyboard shortcuts and those software shortcuts that are built in and there for you to use can do wonders for the speed and efficiency of your workflow, which essentially makes your creativity come out faster and easier. And that leads me into the 4th thing, which is assistive programs. There are programs that allow you to create keyboard shortcuts. There's also macro programs which string together keyboard shortcuts, which allows you to do a series of shortcuts with the hit of one button. For me, I use a software called Keyboard Maestro. I also use Steer Mouse, which is an app that allows me to customize the buttons on my trackball. The second kind of software that I like to use is time tracking apps. So one, it helps with billing if I'm doing freelance work. It helps with seeing where I'm efficient, when I'm efficient during the day, and where I'm not efficient, and what's taking up more time than I think it is. Some softwares that I use for time tracking are like Rescue Time or Timing, where I can put in the different activities that I've been doing, and it just shows it in a very nice linear style. And then a third kind of software that I like to use is Focus apps, which one of them is called Focus. Turns off all notifications, blocks certain websites so I can't go to Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or anything like that. Another piece of software that kind of does the same thing is Timeout, which basically after a certain amount of time literally locks me out of my computer, so I'm forced to take breaks. Helps me to know there is a break coming and I will be able to take a break. It also helps with RSI, so I don't, sit at a computer for too long without taking a break. Timeout really helps with that. So I hope that these tips and kind of insight into the way that I work, as well as things that you should look into to improve your workspace and your productivity workflows, because I really think this helps with your productivity and your creativity, because the quicker you can get things done with optimized keyboard shortcuts and digital or physical environments can really allow you to get your ideas out faster. I really hope this helped. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your productivity hack is or your favorite shortcut. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, always be creating.